Okay, we are live on Facebook, and this is Dr. Robin Perry Braun. I am with my beautiful friend, Rene Deal today, who lives in Indiana. And we are going to talk about a little bit about what her practice. And also Rene is an integrated life process practitioner certified, and she's going to share a little bit about her experience doing the training, the value she saw in it. I really, really value Renee's input because she's had a number of other trainings prior to this one. And so the value she saw added to the toolbox she already had carries a lot of weight with me as someone who created the process, because, you know, she felt like it really added to her thing, but I'll let her share that. So tell me a little bit about yourself and, you know, your journey a little bit about prior to getting the integrated life process training.
Okay. Well, my name's Rene, as Robin mentioned, and it's been kind of a long journey. As any journey is, it's not always easy to kind of find where you're supposed to be in this world and what you're supposed to be doing. And God literally threw this in my lap even before I came upon Robin's program. So I have several different backgrounds. I have some nutrition background, certified nutrition, transformational nutrition. I am also an advanced digestive health practitioner through the Loomis system, which is enzyme therapy. Have also went through Dr. Bradley Nelson's program with emotion and body code practitioner. So that's going more along the energy work versus the physiological work of the nutrition and the digestive. And then when I found Robin, I was actually introduced to Robin probably 2 years ago. We kind of chatted a little bit, but I didn't dive in until the world changed back in March. And I knew that this was probably a background that I needed because I appreciated the amount of energy, the amount of research, the additions that she had put into her product or her training versus what I had as far as emotion and body code. Part of that being mainly was the spiritual part. Robin does a definite great job of introducing and training you on the different spiritual aspects that I was not privy to in previous trainings, such as Freemasonry, entities, different forgot where I'm going, AHS, which is, help me out here, Robin, I'm having a moment.
Spirits, ghosts.
Yes, so a lot of that I was not privy to. And as soon as I kind of got into Robin's training, it became apparent because the response, one of the things that I did really to gauge how effective her training was I actually took, because of the way everything works for her, I was able actually just to put the mind map, the body code right onto her mind map. And just out of curiosity, just to see how often I would actually need the body code. And I was shocked that in all my testing with all of my clients that I've worked with, it only came up, it was either 1 time or 2 times. That's how thorough everything is packed into the integrative life process. So I was really quite shocked at that, because I figured it would come up more and more, but it just really does not, because you've done such a fabulous job of packing all of this knowledge in. And I appreciate Robin as well, because she not only gives of her time, but when she's doing this training, I mean, she keeps adding more and more. And, there's just so much about energy that we just don't know
Yeah.
and don't understand.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great. And like I said, when you and signed up to do it, I'm being honest. I'm like, okay, like here's one of these body code people who's got this other background. And I believed that there was enough added to what I did that somebody who paid for the body code would still see the value of this product.
Definitely.
And so I was like, wow, that just was a really big, good job, and just confirmation, like, okay, this is significantly different enough to where, one, I'm not competing with body code, but two, even somebody who has body code isn't going to go, yeah, that really wasn't worth the money. My thing is always, I want to make sure you feel like you got your money's worth.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated that, with Renee's training. She's really gifted. I've done a few, part of the training you do with me is you get 4 sessions with me. I think I still owe you one, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So in the certification process, you have to see 30 clients. And then your very last session is with me. I'm the last client. So that lets me see, one, as much as I've been working on myself for 30 years, there's always the next issue that needs to come up because we never get done. And so me being the 30th client, I'm, if and when something significant comes up that, I know needs to be dealt with, I always go, okay, this person is really actively working this process and, is tapping into the methodology correctly to where, I would call me maybe a hard nut to crack only because I've spent 30 years working on my issues and humbly saying there's always the next issue to work with because we're always a layered being and things don't get triggered till they get triggered. So sometimes they're just not going to come up till then. So my session with her was fantastic. We have so much similar ways we respond to energy when we're dealing with clients. It's fun to have a tribe and people who get you and they're like, yeah, I felt that too,
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel it here. Yeah, it's in my face, So
Those of you who've done any
work get this, but until I always say, hey, when I first started doing this and I started with the emotion code, just because I knew God was leading me in that direction. I remember going, okay, roll the magnet down the back 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, next. Because I had no sensitivity. I was very sensitive to the spirit, didn't really know how to be sensitive energetically. And then that just came with time. Mm-hmm. So, I believe anybody who does this process and learns it will adapt to those sensitivities. I have some people who are just naturally sensitive to start with. And then we work on being oversensitive so that it doesn't overwhelm you all the time too. So, but that's part of the journey that we do as practitioners, right?
Yes, it is.
So, yeah. And so, here's my thing is I love what I do. I've been doing it now almost 8 years full time. And while it's draining, it's energizing at the same time. I do feel like my best, what we would call zone of genius, which is where we truly feel called and gifted the most, is moving more towards the training and then the helping mentor the people who train. Mm-hmm. And so my one-on-one practice is diminishing more and more. And I just want to work with the people who do the training and other ministers. And so I really want to help build this training by word of mouth and by, marketing. But then I also want to really highlight the people who I believe are really good go-to people. Renee's really gifted. She's in Indiana. She does remote sessions all over the world. So why don't you share how people can get a hold of you if they want to see you as a client?
I want to add one thing real quick, and then I'll go into that. Is one of the things that I struggled with when I got into energy work was really how to connect energy work to God. And so I just want to thank Robin, because when you wrote your book, Thrive, it really kind of connected that quantum energy and how we can connect that and understand that energy is truly coming from God. And, we're not doing woo-woo.
Yeah.
you know, so I just really want to thank you for that gift, so that it's a little easier to explain to clients.
Yeah,
But
and I'll just say I've had other energy practitioners. One, I just love her dealer. She's a more nutritional, but she uses muscle testing, and she's in Dallas area. And she somehow got a hold of my book, and she said the same thing. Wow, this just really helped me settle in my spirit that what we're doing is scriptural, it's biblical, it's aligned with God's truths. It's not
yeah,
human. And so, and it's hard because when you get into something new, it feels right, it resonates as true, but then people come and go, oh, well, that's new age. And when you're like going, no, it's not, but I can't explain to you how it's not. So that was really my motivation to write the book. So thanks. That means so much to me because that really is my heart. I see so much truth and value in using the quantum principles as the book says on how to live a life of thriving myself, but then using muscle testing and be able to go, look, muscle testing is science, here's all the science behind it, but then here's how scripture gives us the same principles that we're using in this process. And so many people read my book and go, I intuitively knew this was true. It so resonated as true. I just didn't know for it. So if we'll listen to our spirit and get it out of our religious head, then, we know truth. And, here's the thing, this is funny, I'll share this with you, is all of the kind of the stuff going on in the world right now, right? And, I get to cheat, right? Because with muscle testing, I can tell if someone's lying, right?
Yeah.
We tell, that's what we're doing all day. True, not true, true, not true.
Yeah.
So besides, whether it resonates in my spirit or we call it confirmation bias, it's something I want to hear. I muscle test stuff. I just don't tell people I do that because then it sounds like I have secret knowledge that you don't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I muscle test it true. I'll do that with my friends. I'm not going to do that on Facebook. Hey, I know this is true because I muscle tested it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anybody who's done muscle testing for any period of time, anybody who's practiced this modality and like 100 times a day, you are spot on in your muscle testing, then you kind of go, well, this isn't egotistical, this is science, but yeah, I'm right more than 99% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. People are amazed.
I'm just gifted at muscle testing, and that's all I go to. I know how to be neutral. I know how to be objective. And I don't run my life on muscle testing, but it does help to have that tool. Sure. One kind of funny story. One of my friends, actually, just before I do that, I'll say we are hosting a training live in Florida in January in the Orlando area for anyone who wants to do a live training and interact. But I am planning on doing, I haven't picked the date yet. I am planning on doing a December training on Zoom. And anybody listening to this who's interested, reach out to me either through a Facebook message, integratedlifestrategies.com, do an inquiry there. There's a training tab on that. So integratedlifestrategies.com/training. You can read all about the training. I will also post a video that gives some details about that, but go to the website, read about it. You can register online. It's not a commitment to pay. It's just, hey, I'm interested. I'd like to do this. I'll interact with you through that. We're looking at some December dates, and then probably actually the first week of February, we're going to do live training. Want to wait till the inauguration's over and the world is still standing and it's safe to travel, hopefully. And so that's the plan, but we'll be in the Orlando area. So let me know after listening to this, if you're interested in this process. Let me just share one more thing, and I'm going to give Rene a chance to tell about her business. Why I did this way is that I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on my education over 30 years. Yep. I've spent hundreds of thousands of hours. What you're getting in a now almost 4-day training is my hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of knowledge and my 30 years worth of self-education and professional education. You don't have to have a doctorate to do this. I basically am taking everything I've learned, putting it on cheat sheets. I've actually just redone my whole mind map in a much more structured, organized way, or I'm in the process of it. And so in 4 days, you're getting my whole adult life worth of knowledge on how to help people in a way that says, hey, I've never done this before. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. After you've done it 5 or 10 times, you don't have to read the cheat sheet anymore. And so my goal really is to, one of the things I saw when I went through my master's program is that, okay, now I got to do 3,000 hours to become a licensed therapist. Well, I was 40 something years old and I've got 4 kids. So most of the practicum or intern programs either don't pay or pay nothing. Well, I can't do that and support a family. So how do I become a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas? That way, most of these kids I was in college with and graduate school are 22 living at home, who went from undergraduate right to graduate school, which I did in 1990. And then the Lord said, okay, I want you to quit graduate school and I'm going to teach you a different way to do healing. And then he sent me back. So I'm just saying that people either don't have the money or the time, or the money and time to invest in getting trained to be a professional healer, if you will,
Right.
certified healer in any modality. And so I wanted to make this training a way where people who truly feel called to this, have the heart, can pay it off as they're making money doing it, and immediately have a tool set that they can begin to use and become proficient at. Because we in America are I don't want to use the word broken. We're so dysfunctional. There's so much sickness. There's so much addiction, anxiety, depression, all this. And the numbers of healers are overwhelmed by the numbers of clients. And
Right.
so we need to get this out there. And so this is a way I could do this where it could be a ministry. I could make a living. To me, if you don't pay for something, you don't really get the value of it. And so this is something you pay for. It's certified. It's not free, but I make it so available financially that anybody can do it and they pay it off as they go. So, okay. Now to you, how can people get a hold of you?
All right. So my website is Energetic Living, LIVING, Indy, INDY, because I live in Indianapolis. Cell phone 317-258-2754. And my email is transform@ Rene Deal Wellness. And that's RENEDEAL Wellness, WELLNESS.com.
Now you actually have another website too called Rene Deal website.
I did. I've not done the complete turnover with my email yet, which I figured out today might be a issue with an email provider thing. But a lot of people knew me by that email, so I was a little hesitant to give that up. So I did have that, yes, but it's not active anymore. Everything can be found on the energeticlivingindy.com.
Okay.
You can schedule appointments through there. You can kind of find out more about who I am, a little bit about my story, which starts out with my reason I'm kind of in all of this starts with my daughter. So all of that is on there and everything that I provide.
Great. Okay. Great talking to you, Rene. Love you. We need to do another retreat soon.
Yes, I'm ready.
Where we don't have to take a COVID test before we travel.
And I know. Won't do it.
Yeah, I know. Well, and my biggest thing is it's not about being a rebel against rules. It's that as health practitioners, we know that the masks not only don't work, but they make you sick.
Yep.
They're bad for your health. And it's really, really hard for me to not get upset and triggered when I'm around drinking the Kool-Aid. My friends are OSHA experts and they're like, the masks don't work. I'm a health practitioner. Breathing in your own carbon dioxide and toxins all day is not good for your immune system. So,
well, they're not even talking about, Legionnaire's disease making a comeback.
Yeah.
So, it's all due to these masks. So we might be going into a direction we may not want to go here, Robin. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're about to cut off, but just that idea of, man, we are so passionate about educating the world about how to stay well. Your immune system was built to fight anything. And a lot of this is propaganda. We're not saying the virus doesn't exist. We're not saying people don't get sick. We're not saying if you're health compromised, you shouldn't quarantine or be careful. And be careful what you touch, wash your hands, all that. But the solution to this is building your immune system, period, because it's the solution to the next virus that comes along, and the one after that, and the one after that. And that's
if the masks were working, why are the numbers increasing?
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like saying, if the vaccines work, why are people still getting sick, and why are they worried about unvaccinated people? Okay. So our job and our passion is helping people stay well, get well and stay well. And I've spent my whole adult life educating myself on how to help people get well and stay well. And I know for you, it's been your focus intensively for the past number of years in this season of your journey too. So, we want to help people get trained and get well. I'm going to post her information in the, beneath the post, and, look for her as a practitioner.
Rick Doss, please come to the front desk.
What?
Thank you.
Somebody's got me live on my thing. Weird. Okay, sorry, that was weird. I don't know where that came out of my phone.
No problem.
Woo, okay.
Woo.
All right. Talk to you soon. Great. Appreciate you, and have a great weekend.
All right. Mwah.
Mwah.